Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Voxcaster podcast. So, we are back with another Loonshrine Studio Wednesday with the host, Kim. Kim, what did you end
Mm.
up reading and going over the past week?
Yes, welcome back, everybody. It's now episode 3 of
Mm,
the Loonshrine Book Club.
mm.
We are reading chapters 5 and 6, or I should say, we read chapters 5 and 6 last week. I just want to say a quick disclaimer once again. I am horrible at remembering names and remembering facts, as we've discussed in multiple transmissions, even on regular Voxcaster. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes, which I honestly encourage everybody to do. Massive help, especially when there's so much names and there's so much lore. I find, especially as a rookie, it's almost impossible to memorize stuff.
Yeah, no, and I think anybody as a rookie, that's actually like a good like snippet of information that I got when I first started was like write everything down. And I kind of joked at first. I was like, yeah, haha, they all say that. And he's like, no, like actually write down your paint recipes, write down characters that
Mhm.
you want to remember, like cool bits of lore. He said write them in. So the way that I was told was like take one journal and you have your paint. You start writing like inwards from one cover to write your paint recipes, then you write inwards the other cover to have like characters that you want to remember or like cool bits of lore and stuff like that. So you just have like one journal that can cover both ends of it.
I
In a
like
sense.
that.
Yeah, that was just this little tip that I got when I first started.
Really random, sorry, really fast also. I know AI is a controversial topic, but last night, actually, I was painting some of my soul blight, so look out for some of that. Finally, something different than my gloom spite. But I I opened up ChatGPT because I was having a hard time remembering like what colors I used on my soul blight because I painted a bunch a couple months ago and couldn't remember now. So I created a table like in Chat GPT where it logs the name, the brand, what it's used for, even the color code, like the
Mm.
hex code of it. And like once again, I know people's opinions on AI is very mixed and it is a very touchy subject. But if you are somebody who uses that, I honestly highly recommend using it to keep track of your paints and even like keep track of your readings and notes. It's honestly helpful.
Yeah, no, and because I think the thing that, from my understanding, is the issue with AI is people don't like that it's taking job away from artists, which I totally understand. That's you know an unfortunate part of it, but it is a very sad part that a lot of businesses are pushing these softwares over humans, which is like, come on. So I do, disagree. I know I do agree with, not having it replace things in the creative sense for humans, because then I think it also limits growth. And anyways, that's a whole discussion for another time. But I do think if you're going to use it for like helping you keep track of things or little things like that, I think it can be very useful. And I think that's a whole separate discussion to have altogether.
No, it totally. But yeah, it's very, very useful at times. But jumping back into the book club and the actual chapters, I guess first and foremost,
Chapter 5.
yeah, chapter 5, we're kind of continuing the themes that we've talked about in chapters 1 through 4, where we're seeing what the Imperium is saying and what they're preaching is kind of not exactly true, or it's not exactly what they're doing in the eyes of the people that they're oppressing or the people that they're trying to bring the truth to. So humans, basically. It follows in chapter 5, it talks about, like, I'm going to be looking at my notes, talks about Ignis Carcassi, where he's walking, like after um, the crusade, he's walking around the city and he's seeing the destruction. He talks about seeing like the graffiti on the walls of people's names, like people who are dead, all the buildings destroyed, all the rubble, and bring up the fact, like, is this truly peace? Is this truly like the holy truth? Like, if it was, would it be causing all of this destruction? And like from the eyes of the humans, it's just complete oppression. So really, like, are we right in what we're doing?
Well, and I think in a cool sense of that too is it kind of shows a bit of humanity and morality, right? I mean, in everyday real world scenarios, when you talk to like soldiers and stuff, a lot of them always question like, what exactly are we doing here? Like, is this really what being the good guys is? Like, are we truly the representation of good if we're willing to do such evil things to get there? And I think this kind of brings a bit of humanity and morality
Mhm.
to the story a little bit, because I think a lot of people can relate to this in a more humane way than just being a cold space marine and, you know, like this blank slate of just you're a soldier.
Yeah, yeah, you cannot feel any emotions. Only emotion you feel is rage.
Yeah.
Can feel is rage.
Yeah.
No, and we kind of see that side of Space Marines later on in the chapter when Carcassi is after he is kind of writing down his thoughts and his notes of what he's seen. He kind of goes on a tirade, or I guess a rant, you could say,
Mhm.
about how he doesn't agree with the Imperium and their actions, and how the truth light may not be what it actually represents. And you see him after he says that, or you read about him being beat up by the other space marines, being beat by them. So you kind of see the two coins, the two sides of the coin
Yeah.
right there.
Exactly. No, no, and I think I like how they're bringing some of these elements on pretty early, because as you're gonna see later on, this is kind of like the stepping stone to the grander things that are gonna come. So it's kind of like it's almost like they're giving you like you know like crumbs that will lead to the whole loaf.
Yeah, that's making me nervous. You saying that already? Because it just means that's just going to get even more crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, see, chapter 6 also kind of upped the game, I should say, with Loken and Samus. Loken, his commander, his body gets taken over by a demon, and Loken is forced to kill him.
Yes, Samus. Yes.
Samus, okay, that's right. Yeah, Loken's story was great for the first 2 chapters, and now it seems like they're just trying to make Loken's life hell, honestly. I feel bad for him.
So, and it's funny because like Steve and I did warn you, like this is a grim dark tale. This is not a like, hey, like everybody has fun type of story. This is a, you know, every good kind of comes with a bit of bad. So we did kind of like warn you about that. But I'm glad that like you're finding these things kind of on your own and like getting to experience it firsthand, because I feel like now the other thing too that you know may not be seen on screen is like when Kim is reading these things, like she'll normally like message us right after and be like, oh my gosh, I just read this and this is crazy. And you've slowly been falling for Loken. And then Steve was kind of like, you know, hey, be careful, like don't get too attached to anybody, like not really hinting at anything, but also kind of hinting at something. But I like how you see like the tragic, how quickly it can go from like good and blah blah to like a tragic thing as well.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you realize, like, obviously they're at war and they've been at war for thousands of years and will be at war for 1,000 more years, most likely. But in the first few chapters, other than obviously reading about them going and finding the emperor, there was lot of little bits added, them talking about playing cards, with each other, like, among the other Space Marines, um, like, laughing together, making jokes, talking about hanging out together even. It kind of makes you separate them from Space Marines,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like, it almost makes you forget that they're Space Marines, that and just makes you think that they're just normal people because they're just normal. They're just acting normal towards each other.
Yeah.
And then the next second, they're off chopping off Tyrannid's head or going after like the emperor, I suppose. But no, it changes within a sentence, within a split second. I really, really enjoy books like that where it's not a slow burn
Mm.
and you're in chapter 20 when something finally happens. Like we're only in chapter 6 and already Loken has killed his commander. So things are a little fast paced in the
Yep.
books, I would
Yeah.
say.
No, and you know, the whole story kind of like has like obviously every story has its ramp up, but then like when things get bad, they get real bad real fast. Like, and this is what I mean by it's almost like a snippet of like kind of like what's to come because you know, I mean, it is still titled the Horus Heresy. Like
Very true. Very true. Speaking of Horus, though, in the sixth chapter, we bring again the themes from the earlier chapters with kind of the supernatural, kind of unknown overcast to the story where people are kind of wondering, like with the demons, with the warp, what is it? Is it like supernatural? Is it more like religious based? Like, what is it? And you see Horus talk about it as just as Xenos life form and nothing more, but we know that he knows what it is. Like, I found it very interesting that he wasn't, I guess that he's lying to them in a
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, in a way it's like he's like lying, or in a way it's almost like he's just telling them like partial truths, you could say, where it's like he's like giving just like that's like this, but it's so vague it's kind of like an answer, but not really.
Yeah, almost like he doesn't want to cause chaos or he doesn't want to cause panic
Yeah.
or something by telling them, "Yeah, you're right. This is a like a demon portal.
Yeah.
Like you're completely right. Things are going to come out of it and they're going to kill us all." So I guess keeping it as just a Xenos life form is for the betterment of the Space Marines.
Well, and there will be more touched upon this later as to like almost why. I'm not trying to give any spoilers or anything, but it's like as you kind of like progress through it, it kind of opens up again, like we've mentioned, it opens up your eyes later to earlier events, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I kind of get why that was happening, or why he said it that way, or to this guy instead of this guy. So I'm really excited for you to get to those snippets too, to see like how it like can change your perspective of earlier stories.
I'm excited as well. Once again, kind of nervous as well because already I don't know if it's going, my opinion is going to change, but already just in chapter 6, I'm like, I don't like the Imperium. I hate the Imperium. How dare they do those things? But we'll see. We'll see if later chapters things kind of shift. But I guess being a human, being able to look at it from a empathetic human standpoint, just putting myself in the shoes of the humans, thinking if there was some stronger, way bigger, almost like godlike creature, person, entity who is telling me that the way that they think, that the way that they do stuff is the truth, is the true light, is the way of life, and that if I don't comply that they're going to kill me, like it wouldn't make me supportive, it wouldn't make me feel good. And then seeing my entire city brought down to rubble and thousands of people killed only to be told, "Well, but we're bringing you the truth, but we're
We're
doing
helping
this
you.
for the betterment of
We're
you."
helping. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're helping you.
I just couldn't, yeah, I just couldn't support something that does that. Like, it's a total just attack.
To some, but then to others, right? It's like if everybody's under our banner, then we don't have to worry about them being different or uprisings and stuff like that.
Very true.
That's kind of like where the other side would probably come from, right?
Very true.
But no, but a lot of people, you know, see your side of it as well. I mean, that's kind of the thing. It's like we mentioned earlier, it's like, you know, if you're willing to go to such great evil lengths to prove that you're good, are you really good?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know?
Exactly. And that also kind of brings in with Loken, there's the other argument similar to that one as well. It's like if you know somebody is doing something bad and you don't agree with it, but you continue to do it and you continue to support them, does that make you just as evil or like just as bad? So like for Loken, you can tell, I mean, even from the very first chapters that he's battling this internal battle within himself of, is the Imperium actually true? Like, do I actually believe in the Imperium and what they're saying? Or are the atrocities that they're carrying out or the things that they're doing so horrible that I can't support it. And like from the first chapter, like we've seen Loken go through that. We've seen him make comments that make you think that he doesn't support the Imperium.
Yeah, no, you're right. So it is kind of interesting now because you get to see these like fluctuating elements of like, it's like, yeah, I support this guy, but who he stands for is kind of maybe not what I support and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, yeah, it is a very unique story in that sense because you'll get a lot of this where it's like, hey, I really like this Legion and what they stand for, but I don't like the greater whole of what they actually represent.
Yeah.
Or,
So,
or I love the greater whole, but I don't like this aspect of it or whatever. Right. So it's very interesting to see like little things like that being, brought up and brought forward so early into the series too. Right. So like as a young person into the hobby, you get to experience like a lot of like the turmoil that some of us have with why sometimes like a lot of the stories are like, yeah, this guy's great, but it is really great. Like, how do you define greatness in 40K
well,
or
yeah.
Horus Heresy, whichever? Yeah.
Yeah, very difficult. But no, I feel like they're building up, like kind of like you've said. They're definitely building up for something big to happen. And once again, like I know a couple of things that will happen, but only like one or two things. I'm kind of in the dark with what's going to come in between. And it's making me nervous. I know I keep on saying that, but like I'm legitimately nervous for Loken. I don't want anything to happen to him.
We'll just let you read it and find out.
No, no. But yeah, did you have anything? You're
Did
right.
you have anything
It
else?
is labeled the Loonshrine.
Did you want to add anything else to?
It's just, again, it's just really, really interesting seeing Space Marines humanized in any sort of way. Because again, like my thoughts of Space Marines, my image of them, it's just this completely cold, distant, human god hybrid that has no emotions. And like, even with the salamanders, like knowing that they're the Legion that's kind of more human centric, human base, even with them, like when I think about them, I still see like Vulcan as a little cold. But no, Space Marines as with human like interest is very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have anything else you want to add for this week or?
No, just that I'm super excited for chapter 7 and 8, going over them next Wednesday.
Yeah, and then next Wednesday is also going to be our monthly update episode as well. So we'll give you guys our first little update on how things are going, how things have changed, and so on and so forth, like that. And so look out for that next Wednesday, and look out for this Saturday's episode with Sam from Warpgate Studios. Well, awesome. We'll see you guys then, and thank you for listening in. Thank you for everybody for the love and support and for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all the usual stuff. You guys know what you're doing. My name is Max, and this has been Kim. And thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Love you.